with this Team Spirit team. It feels like in so many ways there's a Cinderella story going on right now, trying to take down the two-time TI champions with this young team. Can they make it happen though? That's going to be a tough test for them.
Tough test for anyone in the lower bracket.
Yeah,
that's what OG is indeed. But we're back to early eliminations here in the morning at TI. So gotta get those morning jitters out. You know, a lot of players say that they don't like to play right when they wake up, right? So who has prepared? Who got up nice and early? Who squeezed in a pub before this one? That's the question.
That's a good question for sure. And it's something to watch for. If there's any of those early game jitters that we've seen on occasion, as it does look like all of Team Spirit get together to kill off a Trant, most likely we'll see several more of those. But again, we're getting into Darkseer. We saw one of these last night. Went really, unfortunately, poorly, mainly because of that Oracle pick. But you saw Team Spirit do a pretty, or rather OG do a pretty nice play. They waited until they had the Lion and the Winter Wyvern picked, and now they're able to get away with this one. And obviously, throughout a long period of time, Seb's Darkseers looked really solid.
Yeah, for sure. And paired up here with the Clockwork. Unfortunately, though, Soxa did just get spotted placing that ward up on the pillar as they had a defensive ob sort of near their own outpost up there. So that one's going to be gone pretty fast from TorontoTokyo. Instant D ward.
The battle begins.
And as they're going to battle it out for the runes, can they get there a little bit quicker with the fingers? Doesn't quite look like it. Soxa able to take that one, and that's going to be a trade-off of 2 runes apiece, as OG will come and try and contest that Wyvern Faceless Void lane, the Clock Darkseer.
Well, look, it's Spirits in the mid lane again.
It happens all the time.
We're there at TI, you know, the Spirits all year throughout the DPC. I feel like it's just grown and grown and grown in terms of this, like, the mid lane sort of being dominated by the Spirits, and some will get buffed and some will get nerfed. But in the end, we all came back to these heroes simply because the ability to move around the map that they provide, of course, and that idea of, like, initiation and just, like, setting the pace for your lineup, that used to come out of the offlane quite a bit as well. But I feel like some of those heroes have sort of slowed down a bit. I feel like that pool has kind of shrunken. But this time, I mean, mid laner, especially for OG, very much enabled by the off lane with the early Ion Shell for the aggression, sort of going on for the hero kills, whereas on Team Spirit, you're going to have this Empower, which can be a little bit more like sort of the farming up and late game strength.
Right, and obviously can still be very active early, depending upon how they find some angles, but they're going to need to wait and play around Collapse, most likely, with that Magnus Blink Dagger that he'll eventually get online. And as you can see, the CS still pretty even across all of the different ways there. Mag 2-0 right now is the only one that's a little bit further behind, but that's sort of to what you can expect when you're playing against a tiny Nature's Prophet. Super frustrating to play against. Taunt there, Aether Remnant used, but nothing really afterwards. So yeah, just the normal stuff that we would expect to see. Seb also grabbing that Ion Shell onto the creeps and pushing underneath the tower, actually keeping that hurt onto Yatoro and Pushka.
Yeah, if you were here last night, you may have witnessed a Darkseer game for the first time, really, in this TI, because we haven't had very many. And so to see one on the main stage was nice last night, but he got counterpicked really hard by the Oracle. Instead, in this game, we have a different situation where Seb knew what his lane was going to be, at least in terms of the support, and that's looking pretty good for him, because a lot of the carry players don't necessarily have, like, the best answers unless you go, like, Anti-Mage or some, like, crazy hard counter. So Seb should have a pretty good time up here, and so far getting up into that second point in Ion Shell will be the real key. For now, Sox is just aiding in that endeavor by bullying back the 2 heroes from Team Spirit.
As they will get the push down there, no tail, taking a little bit of a beating from Collapse. And Mira just there to provide a little bit of support. They are going to try, most likely, eventually, to get a side pull going, as that one is open. But No Tail's been doing a good job of consistently body blocking it, as he's forcing back Collapse, but a little bit of chase down. They have Skewer, as well as the Shockwave tries to bring him down low, and No Tail barely walking away from that one instead. It's Mira that gets the first blood with the right click, and also going to get Collapse out of there.
Yeah, Sumail was trying to wait on that for the perfect play with the Avalanche, but not able to get the turn. So No Tail goes down. Of course, no items other than regen at that point. Used up his last tango too, so just sitting with a salve and then buys more tangos. So pretty poor Nature's Prophet, but top lane, another 5 going to go down here. Soxa might even run to the tier 2 after grabbing that kill, you'd imagine, because you might as well go home at this point. And yeah, he's just going to head into the abyss.
Oh my god, Soxa does end up going down. You could see, like you said, giving up his life there to the tier 2 tower. So nothing really to write home about with that one, but so far, so good for Seb in this top lane. Already level 4, hanging on to that extra point if he wants to go for a vacuum play or something else.
Yeah, and you have an issue as a Faceless Void where you really hate damage over time, too. You have some mobility, so like you can definitely play around the Ion Shell in a lot of ways. Like you shouldn't be cornered necessarily, but still not an amazing matchup for the hero.
True enough.
And they don't really have a great way to punish this when Seb can just come in, disrupt your pulls, and then surge away. But Miposhka going to be heavy on the chase. Does still have the brown boots here, too.
TorontoTokyo barely able to get away from that one now. And it does look like they're going to be able to get him out of trouble as those rotations were coming in. Making a lot of moves early on here. And right now, the only one that is a little bit further behind is going to be Collapse on that mag.
Going to be looking to boost up his allies this game with the Empower, as the panel was discussing there too. Basically gives you a free Battle Fury, essentially this idea of cleave, so you can farm up the neutrals and the lanes faster. Get your hero online a little bit quicker and eventually scale even better into that late game. Can also perhaps change up your builds on the Faceless Void if you want to capitalize on that damage a little bit more. Currently thinking about just the Mask of Madness, pretty classic item on the hero.
Yep. As they will clear through a lot of those treants, actually. So that's a nice little boost there for Collapse. As treads are done and up top, looking to get a little bit active here. The Ion Shell and the surge forward. Toro has to jump away again. 5-second cooldown. The slow and steady beatdown that he's getting from this. They will be able to force him back with a couple of lucky bashes in there. On the other side, you can see No Tail does go down to Collapse. So just all-out aggression. This is what we were expecting from this match today.
Yeah, he still has nothing but regen on this Nature's Prophet, so really taking one for the team here.
Yeah.
And is it working out for Sumail? Pretty well, right? He's a little bit ahead of the Faceless Void, so Tiny kind of happy, but it's that mid lane here that you see going pretty significantly better for Topson, right? 300 gold up against his opponent here. And I mean, the last hits are the same, but the value is certainly not.
True enough.
We'll have that Yules on the earlier end too, and once that's up on the Void Spirit, you can see him rotating around the map. He's going to be comboed up with the Ion Shell from this Darkseer. You're going to have the hook shot on the earlier end from Soxa, and then you're going to have global teleportation from No Tail.
Money changes hands.
Sounds like a lot of aggression.
That's a lot of aggression. That's a lot of initiation. That's a very dangerous situation for any hero to be in. However, there will be mobility tools, right? You're going to have your skewers on Collapse. You're going to have Time Walk. You're going to have remnants from the Ember. So the supports maybe won't be so lucky, but OG, you're going to have to layer those initiations carefully just to make sure they don't make too many mistakes with these escape spells.
And you can see every time they make that move, it's like 1 or 2 CS that Toro has to sort of jump away from and misses out on. This is what you're hoping to do with this Darkseer, like get that pressure on.
Exactly. They're not counting on kills here. You know, these aren't missed attempts at going for the blood. It's just trying to annoy and ruin the game of this Faceless Void.
Well, and in the meantime, Topson, they will use a quick little glyph there, just messing with his last hitting potential, as TorontoTokyo actually want to get aggro. Jumps forward with that DD. It's going to force Topson back. Not bad at all for Team Spirit, who again are keeping it even through this early laning stage.
Yeah, one of the benefits of the Winter Wyvern too versus the Nature's Prophet, as well as that Darkseer, is that you're going to have this ability to try and like hold the towers a little bit longer when they just sort of have this never-ending split push from Ion Shells and trees just running down lanes. So some benefits from Miposhka. And of course, if they want to shove those lanes in a little bit deep, Mira would also be very happy to pick up some of that earlier farm on the line to try and get to that Blink Dagger.
Yeah, that would be great for them. I think that like sort of solid initiation, obviously TorontoTokyo is really good at it with the Ember, but can be that extra value that's added in.
I do, for Mira's sake, hope that he finds that farm on the earlier end though, because I feel like it's going to get into a very difficult spot. But all that aggression in the mid lane does pay off massively for them, getting that tower for TorontoTokyo. Topson trying to get the punish here, not going to be able to get a kill, and TorontoTokyo, of course, with a very healthy tower.
Well,
should be very pleased at the start of this game.
And sort of keeping our thoughts on that net worth and where it's going to go eventually. You can see, ooh, a little bit of a dodge back there. Topson gets a haster, but you can see Tiny's still sitting at top. TorontoTokyo's up there. There hasn't been a big extension as far as a lead one way or the other, but No Tail gets found out in the trees. The jump forward, Hex into TP. Does Mira manage to make his way out? They do! So get the kill and then escape with the other support. Seb is trying to get aggro, but it ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, and they actually...
this is good though.
Oh yeah, that is true. Clean up some of these stacks. Of course, you know they're gonna have them. Even with the ward, Team Spirit can do nothing but watch as they lose on a bit of gold for their team. And Yatoro still being very frustrated by this clockwork, I'm sure. But still keeping pace with Sumail, so.
As No Tail comes on over, spots TorontoTokyo taking some of these camps. Was hoping to find a ward, but nothing doing there. And another stack up actually onto the Ancients. So this is going to be pretty high value. Most likely, I mean, this is going to be probably a trade-off of maybe, you know, Sumail taking it with the Tiny, but likewise, you could give it to the Darkseer.
Yeah, No Tail. Quick. You can see very surprised. He's just like, oh, really? No wards? You know, checks with the Double Sentry, and again, this Nature's Prophet. Yeah, he's upgraded. He has a Chainmail, so getting pretty darn wealthy now. As he suits up, but you're always looking for those great wards when you're playing this Nature's Prophet, because you can just go anywhere on the map, TP back out, go for the really deep pillar wards perhaps, and that's going to be a huge factor for them, right? Because you're playing with this heavy initiation lineup, and initiation is always much, much easier when you have forward vision.
Not wrong about that one for sure. Mask of Madness done now, trying to get some aggro, thought about going for the Chrono there. Calls off the charge. And you can see that they're just going to leave him alone to continue to farm up top. So Faceless Void definitely looking to get a good start to this one. See if that continues on. But another stack over on the Ancients gotten by Team Spirit. And for them, obviously, with the Empower, this is an easy cleanup. But I feel like there's an opportunity here for maybe either one of the teams to try and go for a steal. Could make a difference. Right now, OG up about 1,000 gold.
And we're just trading towers. It does feel like a bit of a ticking time bomb, though, I have to say, for Team Spirit. I'm really curious to see how they're going to manage to hold through this impending assault from OG. They're going to have some cooldown issues, right? Oh, yeah, with the Chronosphere on the 160 on the earlier end, the RP always going to be that 130. And you look for cooldowns on OG, and, you know, hookshot's a minute. That's pretty much the biggest one that they really need. Like, wall's nice, sure, but it's definitely not needed in every single engagement this game. And I just feel like that is going to be a serious problem for Team Spirit.
Well, you know, it's interesting. Like memes aside, when I think of Darkseer nowadays, particularly out of these pro players, the two ones that come to mind are Seb and Mind Control. And often Seb has been playing in like the kind of carry Darkseer role. This is actually more the style that Mind Control would play, where you play sort of this supporty element, get the quick mech, max out Surge, just start running around with your team, and then enabling that other big bad carry. And we'll see how it works out for him this time around. As it's going to be a lot on Sumail to make those moves, and obviously, of course, Topson playing on this Void Spirit, who had an absolutely fabulous game before. But Team Spirit, they're going to send themselves in here, clear out that Ancient stack, but OG, they want us to get the objective. They want to get this tower.
The pieces are coming together, and it's a little bit too fast right now. But Poshka's still looking for that level 6 to hope to come and help in the mid lane.
There they go, right back in. The wall is down, onto both collapse. The mech up, living a little bit longer. TorontoTokyo walks in, and look at the Chrono. It's going to connect right onto both of them. Seb goes down. Skewer into the RP, only catches on the clock, but that's enough. And look at this, Team Spirit.
Beautiful.
Walk through, take them all down one by one, and find one more to boot.
This is so important for Team Spirit because you're using the RP, you're using the Chrono. You can't just get one kill, right? You need as many as you can get because that's a heavy, heavy expenditure. But they were very victorious in that engagement. And now the question is, how are OG going to rally back from that? They're just going to run right back to that mid lane? It's a fairly likely scenario.
You can see here again, just that immediate move in, and they felt like they would be safe because they could go for that, you know, Soxa control immediately afterwards on the Ember, but Yatoro just getting involved in this fight early on, lacing down a really nice Chronosphere, catches onto a couple there, and then obviously collapse with the follow-up. And, you know, when you bring 4 heroes and all 5 to the fight,
they smoked up
for you.
Here. This was, they moved through a ward that Yatoro had. He might have a false sense of safety here.
Jump, lift up, Yule Scepter, the Remnant down afterwards, tries to catch, can they get the kill? Hook shot afterwards, it's enough. They bring him down. And with that, Team Spirit going to cancel the TPs. So like you mentioned, the low cooldowns on OG, they make use of it.
Yeah, just right back at it, and I don't expect that to be the end of it. You can see they're just moving through their area right now, just saying, go ahead, we know you don't have much left. All that remains really is the winner's curse. It was gained during that fight in the mid lane, but Poshka found the experience from the kills that Team Spirit gained, so really the last big spell they have left in the tank.
And that's 2 tier 1 towers taken for both teams now. Both mid and safe lane gone. And the question remains, how do you transition this now? So often I feel like we've seen teams kind of flunder,
perhaps? Blunder of flunder?
That's the one, you nailed it.
Yes, okay, good.
Thank you so much for that, I appreciate it. But yeah, much like I was doing, they'll flub a little bit.
Yeah. When most of your English just comes from chat lines, it can be difficult, right?
It's a hard life we lead, but we get through it together, Trent.
We're doing our best to share language across the globe with all these new chat lines, you know? You always got to look stuff up, you can learn a new phrase. That's why Dota is the best global game.
Too true. What a great message to send out there at the end. In the meantime, OG, they're going to try and keep pressuring in here and forcing Team Spirit out of their base. They are underneath a ward, which does keep a little bit of the extra knowledge up into the favor of Team Spirit, but maybe a bit of a move down bottom. Saksa there with Seb. Thought about it. Decides not to go.
No, they have those tools back up on the side of Team Spirit, right? Chrono's there, RP's there. OG. How will they decide to play around these? Are they going to try and force out some bad spells? Try and pressure a tower early? Are they just happy maybe holding a little bit higher percentage of the map than their opponents? For now, I think the vision game seems to be a pretty key factor now. You can see some of those deeper wards you'd expect starting to come out from OG, but likewise, great wards in that bottom lane that almost spotted the smoke that took down Yatoro.
And the wrap coming now. He's going to see if he can get on the board and find himself a kill, but no tail out and
those
away.
treants, dude, they're just going in through there. They kind of spot what's happening.
It's really good. Impressive stuff. And then the TP out afterwards. But Team Spirit, now 2,000 gold down. Gonna have to try and deal with this as Mira's getting closer and closer to that Blink Dagger, and it feels like OG are comfortable with the state of the game, at least until they get those next item timings.
Yeah, that Shadow Blade out on the Tiny could open up some new exploration options, but there are Ob Sentry combos as well on the side of Team Spirit's map, so could go poorly for them if Sumail steps in the wrong spot.
They're coming over with these Treants to try and we'll see if they try and block out the Ancients after they get the kills here. Yeah, they walk in and immediately Toro goes for the kill on those Ancients afterwards. TorontoTokyo thought about going for the haste, but Saksa there already to interrupt. And again, economic damage where they can on OG. Topson. I'm curious if he goes back for that same build that we saw the other game. It was super solid, just into the E-Blade after the Sanjin Kaya. Very, very quick blow-up potential that they had going.
I love the way Topson has played through this TI in terms of just like relegating his own farm a little bit lower, even more so than before. It feels like they're really trying to offer a lot over to Seb and Sumail. Yeah. And he just wants those playmaking abilities. So just trying to get something that keeps him like active in the fights, going for this Sanj and Kaya. Not too worried about the next like massive item, just wants to be always there for the team. And right now, a big line drawn here from Mira. They want to go the whole way up top, perhaps hoping that someone's going to try and go for their Ember. Trying to bait his Remnant in here.
Oh, good job there. Gets on in with the Treant to block that camp again. Spirit having to deal with that. Topson maybe in some trouble if they spot him. Owen said they're going to go for no-tail. Mira gets the Hex off, but caught by the 8th Remnant, and then afterwards, they got the Winner's Curse. Stun comes out afterwards, the full control Finger of Death, and dead.
That was a long setup there from Team Spirit, just like waiting and waiting, trying to bait out TorontoTokyo, and then sort of just kicks off because No-Tail got a little bit too close. But best thing right there is that you're taking down a core hero on OG without the big spells. Very good sign for Team Spirit. The later this thing goes, game should get a little bit easier for them. Those big spells becoming more and more valuable as we progress. The RP, the Chronosphere, right? Some items, of course, not going to help you versus those. Even when Sumail gets his big BKB out. But mind you, his HP, even, you know, Magic Immune or not, he is going to be a beast in this game. Not a lot of very tanky heroes in this match compared to Sumail.
Well, and it's so interesting, right? Like, we think back to the matchup that we saw right before this series with Spirit, and it was against Fnatic, and we saw very similar things, right? Nature's Prophet, Jabs was blocking out camps. They had an Ember Spirit on Team Spirit. Again, able to play very much together. The big difference is there's no Luna this time. They don't have that tower hitter. So we'll have to watch if Team Spirit can keep the action going and then, you know, potentially make a comeback happen right now, because OG, they're in the lead. But will they be able to find another pickoff? They do. Soxa goes down.
Yeah, I actually feel great about Team Spirit's game right now. I think that getting Mira to this Blink Dagger without losing too much of their like towers and everything across the map is incredible. Like, I'm really surprised that OG didn't try and push a little bit further. They might have just been a bit hesitant because they couldn't quite get like the best early farm on the heroes they wanted, or maybe they just don't feel that pressured. And they're just happy getting Sumail up to his BKB. That might just be the case. They don't want to make any big risks.
Right.
But I think there was a chance that Team Spirit could be in a much worse spot.
Right, it's interesting, right? Because like there's still that slight lead, but it's not a full item differential yet that's existing, with the exception of Sumail, and he's the one that's definitely having a very good game done with the Shadow Blade, the Echo Saber, and at this point, just about to get to 2 components of that BKB. So it'll be something to watch for.
I mean, TorontoTokyo is going to be in that BKB pretty soon. Nearly has it done. So a lot of pressure on pretty much just Soxa, honestly, to find that big play onto the Ember to get the chain stuns going, see if they can catch it before that BKB. But they're going to get the catch onto Seb. Back uses the Greaves, though.
Oh, tries to get out, but they're going to commit the chrono for this one, and that's going to turn into a full kill. As Seb goes down, Yatoro finds the finish. So a big ulti committed for that, but they get a core hero.
These kind of games can look very confusing too, because the score, of course, is 2-11. You know, Team Spirit, they got all those kills in the mid lane, and you just look over at OG and you're just like, well, why do they have like the gold lead? Like, what's going on here? But just being a little bit more efficient with the map right now. The experience isn't as varied. It's much closer.
We'll have to see if the Team Spirit can suss this out and realize what's going on right now.
The trend continues.
Yeah.
They're going to get objectives if you guys want to get kills.
Comes at a cost. Nothing comes free. But it is still going to be a really strong time with these BKBs done. And actually, Sumail has to go back out, pick up another tree here. Team Spirit have to imagine that something is going on, whether or not they realize that it's Roche or not. But starting to drop down bit by bit. Topson going to come in and help finish this one off with the DD. Team Spirit not looking to contest at the moment. And with that, Aegis onto the Tiny.
Yeah, with the RP and the curse up. A little bit frightening, but of course they do have some great vision options here between the trains being thrown around. They have their flares. They even used a scan. So OG, slight risk, but calculated to be a benefit in the end, and they were correct.
And look at this, Seb showing on the lane. Team Spirit, they're going to run right into him. You don't have an Aegis, sir. Hello, hello. The jump forward, want to bring him down. Back wall afterwards, though. The turnaround coming from OG. Able to get the calls pushed back, but Seb already dead. Now Topson looking for the pullback. Onto that Winter Wyvern, going to get the kill. Sumail finds the back line, going to catch Mira and kill off that Lion. Collapse. Has to jump away. TorontoTokyo goes for the Remnant through. TP out afterwards. Do they have anything else left to take? No! TorontoTokyo able to get away from that one at the last second.
Yeah, only able to get the supports there. So looks, you know, nice attempt trying to just go onto the darks here, but Soxa came through that hook shot right onto the Wyvern and the Mag. Those are like your 2 fight turners, right? So if he can catch those 2, the options quickly dwindle for Team Spirit in that fight when you already know the Chronosphere is going to be down. I think they did a pretty decent job of disengaging there, but it's still going to be a victory in the end here for OGs. They feel comfortable pressuring in with the Aegis on. I say that, of course, they have those big spells.
Oh, and there we go. The Winter's Curse comes out. Collapse moves in afterwards. Does have a skewer to pull him on back onto TorontoTokyo.
Oh, he's
get knocked out low. Has to run it out of there. Barely left alive. The jump through for another round. Winter Wyvern now dead. Sumail dropping lower and lower rooted. Can they find the finish? Needs one more hit, and they'll finally get him. But now Seb trying to chase down TorontoTokyo, and the Aegis will be reclaimed as Toro caught. Has Chrono still.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Need to commit it, has the jump away for the moment, and actually goes in. What? He would turn this around. Finds Seb now, with TorontoTokyo having another salvo of spells, and Mira being back alive. They might be able to find the rest of the finish.
Oh,
Sumail in trouble. Team Spirit are fighting back and trying to take down OG. He gets away again. No, TorontoTokyo falls. Sumail is too big. And where's the detection? They killed all of it. Oh, wait, is he hunting? Oh my god, does he know?
He's just hoping.
Literally just walking in vision. Oh, but they're not quite going to be able to catch him. God, that was so close.
What a play from Yatoro, going back into that fight with the chrono, the time walk getting off there with the help of the BKB. And they find an even exchange was looking like just another victory there for OG economically. They will continue to hold the lead right now, and you can only imagine, like, if that Ember had Empower for that last bit of that fight, that would have been so much better for them.
I mean, it turns it around completely here. You can see this winner's curse.
He just got that BKB too.
Yes.
You can see right here in the replay.
So much damage coming out, and you can see Sumail wants to stay aggro. You know, he's got this Aegis, feels like he can fight, but they burn through it.
You can also see, like, even when he comes back on the respawn, they did such a good job of kiting around Sumail. They're trying to focus down all the other heroes on the side of OG, sort of trying to ignore and dodge. Of course, Sumail, you know, he picks up a couple kills in the end, and he lives there because of that, but something that you're going to have to do. And yeah, you can see right there, gets so low, 200 HP, but right back onto Soxa with the chrono, hitting onto 3-2.
Back into the game, though. Back into the game. The jump. Avatar's dead. Collapse. Caught. Winner's curse onto 2. Oh, but they don't have the chronosphere. But Poshka down low, and Topson eventually going to burn him down to death. So OG, when they don't have cooldowns on Team Spirit, it's time to party. They make it work. 6,000 gold lead now. Even with the kill advantage, it's OG that are the ones that are pulling ahead.
Oh, TorontoTokyo, he's made some plays this game. He wants to try and push them off here. It feels pretty safe, you know, having the BKB and whatnot, but not enough to punish onto No Tail. And now Soxa coming through. Has the Eggs, but both the hookshot and the overclock are both on cooldown. Not able to go for very much here. Of course, Soxa also wants to just keep following. That hookshot's coming back soon.
No Tail here again. Sumail moves in, and they force the Remnant away.
Sox is there just throwing out. He's thinking about it. Wants to try and catch him. Maybe before he has a Remnant timeout or something. Now the 5-hero group up now from Team Spirit. They're going to smoke. No vision on this from OG.
Have to be aware of
this is not the hero they want, though. Oh, and look at this. Soxa pops the smoke with the ward in the middle. He goes in.
Onto both of them. Catches onto the 2, but the skewer out. Mira livid, but not for long. Absolutely obliterated. Soxa did his job. Ends up falling afterwards. Now No Tail tries to back away. Yatoro chasing. Right clicks. Has chrono available. The turn. They've got Sumail if they want him. They have walk forward.
They
the
have
pull.
curse.
The chase. But they decide they don't want to fight. There was a buyback from that clock. Winner's curse to buy a little bit of extra time. That one tree and forcing him away, but Topson able to find one kill. Yatoro backs away again. Without the rest of their lineup, Team Spirit don't want to take this fight. Gotta be careful, Seb. Vacuum back, jump away. And Team Spirit able to dodge that one.
Yeah, not quite close enough to get the overclock and go for some hook shots there. Did cost Soxa a buyback, only one to come back in that fight, but was a eventual slight goal game for Team Spirit. These fights have mostly gone even.
Yeah.
Near the end of this game, but again, still the lead for OG just keeps growing.
Just feels like they get more gold from creeps or something. I don't know, man. It's just like, how do they do it?
That was the whole TI secret, it turns out.
How is this happening? You're killing it.
I mean, you can see it though. Like, they just have heroes, you know, more so on the map that can farm a little bit, right?
Right.
Yeah, getting some of the bigger, higher kills.
Oh, the pullback. Topson, this would be a big one. Yule Scepter gets off. Where's the Hex? They have it afterwards. And so they'll find a much-needed pick-off by Team Spirit. OG right now still playing the objective gaming route.
Yeah.
All tier 2 towers down.
That's also 45 seconds now where he's not farming towards that Aghanims, which is going to be another little power spike there for Topson. And so, Team Spirit, you've held on. You know, you did a good job keeping those outer towers out for a relatively long time. You're going to push this to at least that second Roche. But what is the key to really get back into this game? I feel like it's Collapse and Mapochka just not getting caught at the start of these fights.
Yes.
All right, Soxa is constantly hunting for them, looking to get in and just disrupt the easy flow of the team fight that they're hoping for from those. These are supposed to be your like point and click winner's curse, easy setup for the single kill, and then of course you want to be lurking on the back as Collapse. And you know, this is a good mag game in the sense that like he has heroes that want to go in first, right? He has this Ember, he has this Faceless Void even that he can sort of play around with the RP, but so far Collapse not able to work that same magic that we of course know he has on some of his more preferred heroes.
You can see all the pressure that's being put on. Like, TorontoTokyo constantly has to keep pushing out this bottom lane, and the tower is at half HP. This is a problem, and No-Tail is the one that's making it a problem. Going afterwards into the freaking moon shard.
Yeah, this is
Is he just gonna give that to Tiny?
Well, if you remember, we'll get to that in a second here. Speaking of Tiny, Sumail, BKBing.
Now, Avatos, Tokyo, Flame Guard keeping him survivable. Hookshot afterwards, a great one. Catches on to Collapse, needs to be careful there. Finger of Death out, they have the wall down, also Vacuum up to the high ground, calls the push to the low ground. And on the other side, Mapochka goes down on the Wyvern. But look at the Chrono! Oh, Yatoro finds a great one, but where's the extra damage? Does he have enough on his own? Seb will end up going down. So they find that one kill, the buyback afterwards, has to jump away. Oh, and the Sprout, the shard. RP catches on to both. Do they have the damage? They need the Empower, but it's not quite there. They take down No-Tail, now trying to find Sumail. Seb in the area, they throw the Ion Shell. Still looking for that slow, the chase. TorontoTokyo on the other side, found another one. Avatar, Vacuum is enough. Sumail! He did it to him.
The tree to finish it. It looked so good. Topson gives him the tip. 8,000 damage from Sumail. Listen, the team throwing him on his back. Call him Tiny. He's looking pretty big in this one.
Unreal. That's the thing. You chase this Tiny, you think you're going to get him. He's down so low, almost dead. And in the end, it just wasn't enough. The Avatos combo too strong. Man. Can see now the fight breaking out afterwards. TorontoTokyo focused the rest.
How is Soxa actually hookshotting onto Collapse and Mapochka though?
Yeah.
It's every single engagement. Yeah, maybe he doesn't get the kill right away, but you can see again, Mapochka goes down again without the ulti because of this. Because you create this panic. And Yatoro did everything he could to try and save this fight, but it couldn't be salvaged. And I swear, wasn't he just dead? No. He saw that stat. I think he's top 3 for deaths or something at TI time, and he's up there around with like Puppy and everything. So he, this guy, he likes #1.
That's true. Got to get it. Got to get it. As you can see, the damage numbers mounting out. Right. Sumail definitely carrying the team in this regard.
No-Tail.
Okay.
He's gonna buy back here.
Interesting. Comes back in. Wants to help them clean this up as quickly as possible, but you can see movement, hookshot afterwards. Finds onto one, force step out, jump head afterwards, doing a ton, but these calls again catching on the boat, and they pull it all in, tries to skewer out. It's not going to be good enough. Soxa dead, and they manage to live through that wall initiation. Now the winner's curse to buy a little bit of extra time. It's the illusion that's keeping it the full range, but the BKB gets off a little bit too late as Mira. Mapochka again dead on this Wyvern.
Fast fish.
So they claim that outpost. TorontoTokyo thinks about going back in again throughout that remnant, but not going in as Roche 2/3 HP.
That buyback from No-Tail to kick everything off, throws out the ulti instantly, and honestly, the thing I'm saddest about is it's going to slow down that Moonshard gift here.
Yeah, true enough.
But now, Team Spirit, they see a possibility here. They have Chrono, they have RP, they have everything.
He's there to break it again. Slight fist off the mark, but they get the pullback. Horn toss.
Nice horn toss. Good free pick. That's a dieback.
70 seconds. No-Tail. No-Tail. Let's try to do something there. Do you like it? No? Okay. Mid-lane. Thank you.
Is there a rewind? Do we have that production? Can we avoid that? All right. Anyway, we're good. You don't have time walk, that's okay. You have to live with your mistakes. Yatoro.
Round 2.
A little luck here.
Jump in. Mira caught again. Topson finds one. Hook shot onto 2 afterwards. Collapse on the other side. Does have an opening, but he runs into the cogs. Has to be careful. The overclock was used. TorontoTokyo tries to back away. Sumail hunting, looking for a pick, but they find Topson. Mira bought back right on top of him. Finger of death. Oh, but they dissimulate. And then the walk away. Silence out afterwards. Looking for the chase. Do they find him? Sumail misses on that avalanche. The Chrono on the other side finds Seb. Yatoro gets him for the finish. That's no buyback either on him. Soxa caught the winner's curse. Oh, it's going to take down Topson. One by one, they're getting pulled apart. Team Spirit working together as a squad and trying to finish it off. Can Sumail do it all on his own? That BKB, it doesn't have a lot of duration left. Winner's curse, another one dead. Sumail is pretty freaking large. Is he really going to do this all on his own? Team Spirit, are you biting off more than you can chew? The Rock Man is pretty damn strong.
This is a frightening scene that they're running from one.
Oh no, you got to be careful. Sumail is scary, and he is mad.
All right, I mean, still.
I'm gonna do it myself.
Yeah, apparently that seems to be the only option left here for Sumail. Heroes and OG falling after that dieback from No-Tail led into an advantageous fight from Team Spirit. Great play from Yatoro. And they sort of just like spread out in that fight, you know? As you can see on the replay here.
We gotta keep our eyes on this. Back into the game here. Cogs push back afterwards. They get the Roche. Looking for more. Avatars, remnants away. TorontoTokyo barely able to get out of that one.
Yeah, but certainly not able to interrupt anything there.
This game has no breaks.
Yeah, we have the Aegis and the Shard there for Sumail. So, oh, did he get gifted it, by the way? Yeah, so he does have the Moon Shard. So now, if you remember, OG, when IO used to have the talent that gave the Aghanim Scepter, they were one of the first teams to do that. Tiny buys the Battle Fury.
Right.
Sorry, the Butterfly strategy. Not a Battle Fury, that would be hype. He would buy a Butterfly, and then by the time IO got the talent, you would just suddenly have Ags and Butterfly, and it was absolutely ridiculous. So I feel like No-Tail kind of trying to do a similar thing here.
Right.
Where he's just like, you know, I don't need items. I went this whole game on just regen. I'll just give a Moon Shard to my Tiny.
Exactly, and now look at all this extra net worth that he's got on the Tiny. An extra 60 attack speed, some of that night vision as well. And Sumail, we've seen how strong this Tiny can be. Can he keep doing it for OG here? They're up 7K gold, has an Aegis. And how do you stop him?
That's a great question. I believe it comes from this magical spell called Horn Toss.
That's a pretty good one. Can they do it though? Finger of Death afterwards if they want to use it, bringing him down low and dead once. Round 2 though. Coming back in for this one. Yatoro caught, does have the chrono, gonna connect. They're trying to kill him off. Hookshot in. Is it gonna be good enough? BKB out the wall. Everything for my Sumail, but will it be enough? The they kill him. They take him down, no buyback. And now looking for more. Sep in trouble as they run him down one by one. They actually did it to him. Collapsed.
Well, I'll tell you, Tiny, he might be the hero of the tournament, but the spell of the tournament is Horn Toss. This thing, it's so ridiculous. It's like I willed it into existence because that's how easy it gets once you have this available. It's such a crazy tool on your high ground. You think Darkseer is good on the high ground? Mag with this spell is good on the high ground.
An unbelievable series of events. And to do it like this on the TI main stage for this, the youngest team at TI, Team Spirit, wanting to go up one game in this series, an elimination series against the two-time TI champions. The gall. They're absolutely wrecking here. 20-33. It's now down to a 2K gold lead, and more importantly, Team Spirit have an opportunity to try and take down these objectives.
The most impressive part is this is a game that's taken a lot of patience from Team Spirit, waiting to try and capitalize on what OG's up to. And now they're finally crossing the river.
Have we jinxed it? Is there a problem here? Saksa gonna get ran at, misses on that hook shot to escape. Ends up going down. You can't give him an inch on OG for Team Spirit. We'll have to see if they can keep up this, but of course OG, they've got so much split pushing potential. You see No-Tail pushing up top.
Yeah, OG, a team are very capable of just shifting gears suddenly. You know, you think you've kind of figured out their game plan and something new sort of emerges and evolves as they're taking in the game state and adapting to what you're doing. And that's, of course, why they're so hard to beat. So now as Team Spirit, you know, they're trying to adapt, right? They're trying to say, like, okay, now how do we shift from always trying to pull back and then jump on top of OG? How do we become the ones who are actually getting that first jump and making these fights look successful? And, you know, sure, you can do it on your high ground, you can do the horn toss, but you got to find it out in the open map. That's a lot harder to do. It starts with the vision, and they have some great wards down here. Despite losing their Lion, they did get some solid vision, and perhaps that'll be what leads them into some better plays.
No-Tail manages to take that tower down on the bottom side. And a butterfly finish now for the Faceless Void. We also saw the refresher done for TorontoTokyo on the Ember. So massive amounts of damage.
Oh, Maposhka, he had to cancel his TP because there was a leveler sitting there on the ground.
Oof.
He had to drop the clarity. And can he actually survive?
He blinked off to the right. Nicely played.
Oh, getting the leveler back. The team needed it though, right? Like,
yeah.
They're gonna miss. They try a hook shot. He's out.
What a play from
my God.
Poshka.
I mean, this is a leveler with Empower. You do not want to lose that.
Yeah, you have to get it because they are missing that hero damage. And now
there's no
smoke up afterwards. The pullback, they find No Tail. Gonna turn him in with that Impale. Finds the kill.
Soxa, he wants it. He's
over round 2.
overclocking.
They're thinking about it. This is a dangerous go with the overclock. I mean, you can see that OG, they want to try and punish this moment where Team Spirit was a little bit separated, but they stuck together and able to dodge the initiation. God, what a close
Spirit.
one.
Yeah, they're taking a look now. They don't know exactly who's up on that high ground right now.
They do have a ward back behind by the hard camp, but at least for now, Yatoro gonna beat away at this. Sumail goes for the opening. Ava, toss, jump in afterwards, but the force staff, and they get him! Dead for 100 seconds! That's their chrono, that's everything! Well, Collapse is still alive, but he's gonna be forced back again. Goes for the long-range skewer, now looking for more. Mira goes for the Hex, and now trying to go for the TP out, but in the meantime, TorontoTokyo actually picking off these supports bit by bit. Maposhka will go down as well. So it ends up being a 2-for-1 exchange. And Yatoro is just going to need to be a little bit careful on that initiation from Sumail. Too strong.
I mean, they hit double force staff on the Meg and the Lion, but it's just not enough to get the save there. You don't really expect how much damage is going to come up. That was almost 1,500 magic damage burst just from the Void Spirit throughout that, right? Like, you think it's going to be the tiny, you know, like, no, surely they can't get through like 4,000 HP-ish. But they did rather quickly.
And that might be all OG needs. Again,
he's sitting on an Ops and Sentry right now for Sumail.
Wait, Portos again! They got Sumail! They don't have Chrono afterwards, but they might not need it. Mira continuing to control, looking for another round of this. Now, RP gonna get off the mark and collapse. Pulls him back in! What in the hell? Sumail has a Ghost Scepter now inside the fountain. I don't know if he bought that or not, but figure of death out! Usually when OG is in the fountain, it's good. Not this time, as they pull him back down again! No Tail dies!
Yeah, you want to give them a moonshot, you can go right with them, all right?
Oh,
joined at the hip, joined it
on again. The Hex is out from the Lion, and another round, another salvo, and Team Spirit will not be denied as they chase for more. Maposhka right on top of Topson, tries to jump out of there, buying some good time here, and Collapse finally tries to get it.
Good.
Oh my God, Topson, what?
Yatoro,
Is he really gonna get out of here? Now they're chasing, they're going. Everything for Topson, but it's not enough.
Don't worry, we got Horn Toss. We're good. all right. Run it back, production. You know what we want.
Yeah.
No one else die, all right? Everyone else just go away. No more fights here. All right, look, watch this force staff. This force staff is so sick. All right, ready? Oh, turn around RP. Skewer him into the well. Oh, collapse. Take it way more than Mars.
Unbelievable. And again, the Ghost Scepter trying to keep him alive, but it's just not enough. And just like that, OG now going to have to stare down a very long time without the rest of their heroes, struggling at this moment. In game number 1, Team Spirit testing the champs, and now trying to take this tier 3 tower.
I love this solution of how to get on the enemy side of the map. Just kill them all.
Yeah.
This is great. You know, I'm wondering, how do you kill them outside of your base? Well, if they keep coming to your base, well, you just keep killing them there. OG perhaps sensing that they were obviously much stronger, or they just felt like, you know, maybe we're on a bit of a clock, and they feel like you're with this single unit tiny as it's starting to feel like for them, that they don't have enough to take this really late, and it is starting to look that way.
And Roche going to be a long spawn this time around. So Team Spirit gonna have to buy some space and time as No Tail continues the split push. This is incredibly difficult to deal with, and TorontoTokyo the one that's sent to clean it up each and every moment. A smoke up now from OG.
Yeah, Sumail leading the charge here. Of course, still has that Ghost after he bought in the well. Yeah, might come in handy later with how Collapse is playing. Could find himself there once more, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Particularly if he ever gets to that refresher, because you got to imagine he's feeling it after that. He's like, you know, I would really love to have 2 of all of those.
Exactly. It's not bad. And again, how many times is it, you know, that, like, thinking about where Sumail was when they were up on that top side, pushing that tier 3 tower, he had Aegis, he had the Moon Shard transferred over, he had all the damage in the world to cleave through those buildings, and it was Collapse. The carry, the real carry, putting the team on the back.
What's crazy is that right now his skewer is at 6.8 second cooldown, because he's this Octarine and this Quickening Charm, so it's a very cool solution compared to the refresher, right? Because it's just gonna be online far more often, obviously. working with those big play potentials.
Well, Team Spirit playing around the Roche Pit. They know this is where the fight's going to take place. And since it's such a long timer, they might even have to actually go beforehand. And it looks like that's what they're going to do now. So smoke up, but somebody needs to deal with bottom. And OG continue to put this pressure on. They're doing such a good job of forcing Team Spirit's hand.
Yeah, those big treants are just going to clear out that range rat.
And it's dead. It's gone.
And they're going for the next one. Guys, there's creeps there.
Yeah.
Anybody? TorontoTokyo, he's trying to get there.
This is some veteran stuff right here. Make the split push play, force Team Spirit to show.
And of course, you have the advantage of the flare, right? So you're just constantly sending that in. You're going to have treants there too, so it's going to be very difficult for Team Spirit to deny any sort of vision around the Roche Pit. Meanwhile, they don't have any of those options. There's no helm on this mag, of course, because Claps has gone for a different build, starting out with the mechanism, so they don't really have a way to just like check the pit for free. Other than just like sending in TorontoTokyo and hoping he doesn't get vacuumed or something.
It's true. Horn toss. They got him caught. Oh, and Topson, they pulled him in too. Oh no, not like that. OG now looking for more. Seb got to run away. They buy back on Topson. Wall down. Yatoro vacuum. Chase. Sumail thought about the rundown, but with the 2 buybacks, Team Spirit will retreat. And with that, Roche will also spawn.
They're going to smoke up here too. Of course, they still have everything. That, you know, these are the cheap picks that you get with Horn Toss. Still holding Chrono, still holding RP.
And that combo of like the Horn Toss with the Lion, and they get him again. Pull him back in, bring him on down. Hookshot, try to salvage it. It's not going to be enough. OG don't have an answer for the mag, and Saksa also gets killed. Unbelievable composure and presence of mind coming from this Team Spirit roster.
BKB too, right? I mean, all that damage was magical. He took 382 physical damage on Tiny.
What? They find him another time, and the Chrono down. Collapse. The absolute madman. Wow.
He is looking for it right now. The bottom lane, sure, there's still creeps. TorontoTokyo's going to go back and deal with it, but oh, he can't believe it. Says Collapse.
As they chase in, that's going to be melee racks down. Might go for more. I mean, they're dead for forever. The turn now, looking for the tier 4 towers potentially. Our Team Spirit just going to end this game. There's still Sumail, and he is a big, bad, mad Tiny. There, they get him. Collapse. What can this guy do? Horn toss in. Sumail wants to salvage this, and there's the winner's curse. There's no buyback. There's no help. It's Sumail versus the world, and this time it might be the world that wins as they find the finish. GG called. Team Spirit 1 game away from eliminating OG.
Not only is it a win, but it's the way that they won this game. Team Spirit recognizing that it was